to tonight's special broadcast, here to provide you with an in-depth overview of the multiple disasters currently unfolding around the world. Severe drought is significantly impacting crop production across Europe, particularly affecting southern countries like Spain and Italy, where there are significant reductions in winter crop yields and fruit tree production. As water reservoirs in Spain and Italy have reached critical lows, authorities are implementing strict water use restrictions and rationing measures, and the authorities have declared a state of emergency. Following an intense swarm of earthquakes, the ongoing volcanic eruption in Iceland is centered on the Reykjanes Peninsula, near the town of Grindavik. This event is producing significant lava flows and volcanic gas emissions. Lava is spewing and spreading laterally from both sides of the 4-kilometer-long fissures, while significant emissions of water vapor, carbon dioxide, and sulfur dioxide are spreading and could potentially affect air quality in Reykjavik. As conflict is affecting Ukraine, Nagorno-Karabakh, and Gaza, the toll on civilian populations is devastating. In Ukraine, approximately 5.9 million people have been internally displaced. An additional 8.1 million have sought refuge primarily in Europe. In Nagorno-Karabakh, around 90,000 individuals have been displaced. 88% of these are women and children. In Gaza, there are more than 1.7 million internally displaced persons. Many of them have been displaced multiple times. Sanjay Singh is an operator of a local NGO. He told us how he is finding difficulties in defining the status of the people he is assisting.
They are applying right for legal protections. These people are in a constant state of uncertainty, and it's our mission to offer them some sense and stability and hope amidst the chaos.
The wildfire that is occurring in the Evros region in Greece is the largest ever recorded in the European Union, scorching over 96,000 hectares and already resulting in 20 fatalities. Compounding the crisis, a cyber attack is targeting Greece's emergency response systems. This malicious act affected crucial networks such as fire department communications, healthcare facilities, and transportation infrastructure. It is clear that in the case of such concurrence between a natural disaster and a cyber attack, the challenge is how to prioritise emergency response efforts in the event of both physical and cyber emergencies. In Libya, a tropical storm is causing catastrophic flooding, primarily in the city of Derna, due to the collapse of 2 dams. Over 4,000 people have been killed, and around 10,000 people are reported as missing. Approximately 25% of Derna has been destroyed. The region has experienced rainfall totals of up to 414 millimeters in 24 hours. Thousands of people have been displaced, and residents of Libya are wondering why the floods have not been foreseen and why there is seemingly little available to help mitigate these disasters.
We never expected something like this, and it feels like the authorities were unprepared. Why couldn't they foresee this with all technology and AI available today? We should have had better warnings. Our people deserve more than this.
In this context, the question is, how can AI help to prevent disasters? Well, we are joined now by the head of the International Meteorological Association, Dr. Elena Garcia. I'd like to ask, as the current situation demonstrates, it's important to understand how to deal with scenarios in which several risks and resulting crises materialize. So how do you view this complex challenge?
Well, polycrisis, which is where multiple risks converge to create compounded challenges, are becoming increasingly common in today's world. These scenarios, which can include simultaneous extreme weather events and socioeconomic disruptions that are worsened by climate impacts, required a multi-phased approach. Our objective should be not only to manage individual hazards, but also to understand their interconnections in order to ensure effective responses to these polycrises.
It is often said that there's a gap between science and policy. So do you believe there are professional roles that could help bridge this gap?
So yes, bridging the science policy gap is crucial for translating knowledge into actionable policies. Hybrid experts, with expertise spanning science, policy analysis, and social sciences, play a pivotal role in this endeavor. They could facilitate effective communication between scientists, policymakers, and the public, ensuring that their insights informed evidence-based decision-making.
So thank you, Dr. Garcia, for sharing your insights on these critical issues. Well, now to introduce Erwan Martial, working for the European Commission department in charge of civil protection on humanitarian assistance. So thank you, Erwan, for joining us today. In the current context, characterized by multiple concurrent disasters that are affecting Europe, the concept of disaster risk management is becoming fundamentally important. In this regard, could you please elaborate on how the EU is advancing in disaster risk management?
Yes, absolutely. Thank you very much for having me. The EU is promoting disaster risk management based on science in its civil protection policy. This policy is in support to the 27 member states and the 10 participating states of the EU neighborhood. So we help in preparedness, for instance, enhance early warning systems, prevention, for instance, strengthen infrastructures and community resilience, and response, notably on coordination. I shall say that the EU is also promoting disaster risk management with the same scientific foundations under other policies, notably the cohesion policy, to make sure that large investments are done according to strategic priorities in order to maximize the impact of our initiatives, prevent new disasters, and also be ready to respond when disasters occur again.
How does the EU plan to address the challenges of integrating scientific recommendations into public communication amidst the rise of fake news and frequent crises?
Well, you are referring to very real and actual challenges. The EU is actively working to support evidence-informed policymaking to combat misinformation and enhance public trust in science. Collaboration between science communities and civil protection is really crucial for ensuring an accurate crisis information based on high-quality data. In practice, DG ECHO works closely with the European Commission Joint Research Centre to make available to the operators of civil protection useful evidence, for instance, from the Copernicus program. As part of the Knowledge Network mission, we foster dialogue between scientists and policymakers to make scientific information more accessible and understandable, including through sharing good practices.
So thank you, everyone, for the valuable insights.